With only 4 weeks to go until the election, Colorado voters will be heading to the polls to elect their next elected officials, from the governor to local representatives at the state level. Here at CTV, we're taking a closer look at the candidates and where they stand on issues, so whichever way you choose to vote, you can feel like you are making the most informed decision. Let's dive right into the governor's race between Democratic candidate Jared Polis and the Republican candidate Walker Stapleton. Colorado's 2nd Congressional District Representative Jared Polis is running on the Democratic ticket. As far as Polis's plan for what he plans to do in Colorado, he's in favor of universal health care for all Coloradans, supports cities and counties enacting their own minimum wage laws. Polis wants to establish full-day kindergarten in all schools and then wants to run Colorado on 100% clean energy by 2040. Looking at State Treasurer Walker Stapleton, who is running on the Republican candidate, Stapleton wants Colorado to have access to full health care without making it single-payer and raising taxes. Stapleton favors school choice and plans on having a tax holiday in August for the back-to-school season. He plans to protect the Second Amendment and has vowed to crack down on sanctuary cities in the state. Now looking at the Attorney General's race between George Brockler and Phil Weiser. These candidates have policy differences, but both want to protect Colorado from government overreach when it comes to Colorado's marijuana law. Current District Attorney George Brockler is perhaps best known for prosecuting the Aurora Theater shooting. Brockler wants to protect Colorado's water laws. If elected Attorney General, Brockler wants to create units for human trafficking, drug narcotics, cold case, and elder abuse prosecution. Looking at CU Boulder's former Dean of Law, Phil Weiser wants to protect dreamers living in the state. He wants more gun control reform by raising the purchase age limit to 25. Similar to Brockler, Weiser wants to protect Colorado's water, air, and land laws. Taking a look at the closer elections that we have going on in the state, we have 2nd Congressional District, which covers all the way from Fort Collins down to Loveland, Broomfield, and then most of Colorado's high country towns. On this ticket, we have Peter Yu, he wants to create affordable health care again without going to a universal plan. He wants less government regulation in order to keep the economy running. Taking a look at Jonah Hughes on the Democratic ticket, he wants to increase investments in renewable energy, supports full universal health care, and also wants to protect women's reproductive rights and is in favor of sensible gun control. Race that most of the nation will also be keeping an eye on is Colorado's 6th Congressional District, which covers Denver's northern suburbs, eastern suburbs, including Aurora, then south down to Highlands Ranch and Littleton. This race between current Representative Mike Coffman and Jason Crow. Both have a military background in a district that's home to Buckley Air Force Base. Jason Crow, the Democrat, is looking to unseat Mike Coffman and wants to recommit Colorado to the Paris Climate Accord. He favors background checks on guns and wants to restrict high capacity and bump stocks in the state. He's also in favor of increasing the federal minimum wage laws and wants better access to higher education by making student loans more accessible as well as federal grants. Looking at Mike Coffman, the current representative, he takes a hardline stance on fixing the Veterans Affairs because of the budget issues that affected the VA hospital in Aurora. Given that this community is very diverse and has a large population of immigrants, Coffman takes a more lenient stance on immigration, though he doesn't want an easy pathway to citizenship for those who came here legally, but does favor a pathway to citizenship for dreamers if they work, go to school, or join the military. Taking a look at the congressional state races in Larimer County, we have District 49, which is in yellow, District 53, which covers the eastern part of Fort Collins, and 52 as well. In this district, we have Joanne Janal, who is the Democratic candidate. She is running against Donna Walter. Looking at District 53, Jenny Arndt is running unopposed in the district, which covers everything west of College Avenue. Democrat Connor Duffy is running in District 49, which covers most of Larimer County except for Loveland and Fort Collins. He's running against current Representative Republican Perry Buck. In the Lamar County Commissioner's race, we have John Kafas running on the Democratic ticket, Sean Doherty, who's running on the Republican ticket. We should note that Sean Doherty was just appointed to the Commissioner's seat. He's filling the late Lou Gator's terms as he finishes out his term. Taking a look at the propositions that we have going on in the state, voters will have the chance to vote yes or no on these. Initiative 109, which plans to which requires the state to issue $3.5 billion in funds to fund transportation throughout the state. Proposition 110 is pretty similar to Proposition 109. That is a sales tax increase of 0.62 that would fund transportation throughout the state. Next, Proposition 112, which we talked about earlier in the show, is a oil and gas development, which would set a minimum distance of development to 2,500 feet from occupied buildings. The last one we have is Amendment 73, which looks to increase taxes to those who make more than $150,000 in the state. This amendment would increase education funding throughout the state as a result. We have some information about Election Day ballot drop-off locations closest to campus. We have the Lamar County Courthouse at 200 West Oak. That will be available starting once mail-out ballots go out. The King Soopers on North College, that drop-off location will only be taking ballots November 2nd through the 6th. Polling centers and voter services will be offered in the LSC and the North Ballroom, and as well as at the Lamar County Courthouse. Well, that's all we have for News Ramp. Stay tuned for weather, sports, and entertainment from the people you know.